So, spoiler alert for Daredevil Born Again Episode 3, probably also Episodes 1 and Episode 2, but definitely you need to see 3 before maybe seeing this because you're gonna, I mean, the title might be a little misleading. I don't know. I haven't decided on it yet. Not misleading, but spoiler alert. But we're going to talk about a certain character. So, again, spoiler alert for it. If you don't want to be spoiled, I would click off now. But we're going to get into Episode 3. We saw White Tiger. We saw Matt Murdock defend Hector in court and have him being innocent, but also giving up that the White Tiger is Hector and his secret identity is out there. But at the end of the episode, we see the White Tiger return to fighting crime, only to be killed immediately by a character wearing a suit that revealed to have the Punisher logo. There is a whole lot to break down with that, especially with a certain character with actually really two characters. One of them you probably know, the Punisher, but another character as well as a task force, as well as a connection between the task force, Kingpin, anti-vigilantes. You probably know where I'm going with this if you're a little familiar with comics, but we're going to talk about Cole North. So, when it comes to law and order in Marvel's New York, most cops either look the other way or reluctantly accept the existence of vigilantes like Daredevil, the Punisher, and Spider-Man. But then came Cole North, a no-nonsense officer from Chicago who didn't just want to stop vigilantes, he wanted to bury them. But who is Cole North? What makes him such a compelling character in the world of Marvel's street-level heroes? How did he end up in this whole situation with Daredevil, with the Punisher, and even Kingpin? Let's get into this. Cole North made his first appearance in Daredevil 2019, issue number 1, created by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. Unlike many of Daredevil's allies or enemies, North isn't a superpowered villain or masked vigilante. He's a dedicated police detective with a strong moral code, but one that doesn't leave room for heroes who operate outside of the law. Originally, he is from Chicago. Cole North was one of the best police officers in the city. He was known for being unshakable, incorruptible, and loyal to the law. He also happened to be one of the few openly gay police officers in the Marvel Universe, a detail that added depth to his character beyond just being, the tough guy cop. But what really set him apart was his belief that vigilantes were just as bad as criminals, as the criminals that they fought. And when a case in Chicago forced him to leave the city, he took a transfer to New York where he'll meet all of these heroes, landing right in the middle of Wilson Fisk's war on vigilantes. The anti-vigilante task force is a big thing for him. Now, at the time, Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, had become the mayor of New York. Sounds a little similar to Daredevil Born Again right now. With his new political power, Fisk wasn't just fighting heroes in the streets, he was outlawing them completely. To ensure the new anti-vigilante policy, Fisk brought in Detective Cole North, a man who already hated masked crime fighters. It didn't take long before North found himself leading the anti-vigilante task force, a specialized unit to take down people like Daredevil, like the Punisher, and of course, like Spider-Man, who has been mentioned. I don't think we'll see him in the show, but he has been mentioned. And here's something really interesting. When he first encounters Matt Murdock, when he first encounters Daredevil, Cole North beat him pretty bad. That's right. Cole North took down Matt Murdock in their first fight. No tricks, no gadgets, just straight up skill, raw skill, and police training. It was a huge moment for fans, a shocking moment to say the least, that North really was not someone to take lightly, and Daredevil would actually have his hands full, which I think is kind of a way they're setting him up right now. But despite the mission, there was something different about Cole North. Unlike Fisk, he actually believed in justice, not just power. And this is where we kind of get a little deeper into this. The turning point. As North continued his crusade, he started to see the cracks in the system kind of hurting his belief. He learned that Fisk's police force were rotten and corrupt, filled with officers who were just more than happy to take bribes, plant evidence, anything that really would go against his code. And when he saw how the system failed the people of New York, he began to question whether his mission was truly just. His biggest test came when he crossed paths with Frank Castle, the Punisher, who we will see, in my belief, the next episode. Unlike Daredevil, who operated with a strict moral code, the Punisher had no problem killing criminals. North hated everything Castle stood for, and when they met, it was an all-out war. But even after North arrested the Punisher, he saw firsthand how the legal system kept killers and criminals to walk free. Eventually, North realized that Fisk's war on vigilantes wasn't about justice, it was just about power. And when he finally turned against the system, he found himself in the crosshairs of his own department, of his own beliefs. By the end of his arc, Cole North wasn't the same man who arrived in New York. He started as a hard hitter, a hardliner, someone who saw the world in black and white. But after his experiences that he had with Daredevil, the Punisher, Kingpin, he realized that the justice wasn't as simple as just enforcing the law. It was about really what doing is right. And, that's a classic cliche thing, do what's right and that will be the correct thing. He really did, understand that by the end of this and kind of change his ways. Unfortunately, his story ended with him resigning from the NYPD, disgusted by how deep the corruption ran. But that doesn't mean we've seen the last of him. In a world where vigilantes continue to rise and Kingpin's grip on New York remains, someone like Cole North could return in comics. Could he return as an ally, a new lawman, or become something else entirely? We don't know. But this is really something that will set up Daredevil Born Again. So we have a little bit of history from him. I think they're going to adopt this story pretty well, that he is going to come in, lead the anti-vigilante task force, only to finally realize its mistakes after the corruption, after how not everything is correct, how he thought that law enforcement should be, kind of similar to Matt's journey, where Matt thinks if he leaves everything into the system of the law, things will be okay. I think they'll both kind of realize that in some way. Matt definitely before him, because I think he'll be a major thing in this. Now, why do I bring up Cole North? A funny thing is, and a little leak here, we did see set leaks, and I don't think I could put him on the screen, of somebody playing the character of Cole North with the Punisher vest and everything. So it was rumored that he would be in this season. Now, this was before the whole overhaul and everything where they switched everything up, but I do believe he's still a big part of the season, and they may set him up for something in season 2. I don't think his whole arc will be complete in season 1, but season 2 could be there. I guess you could say season technically 5, right? Because if they're still following the Netflix series, we're on season 4 and then season 5. I don't know, I'm just spewing. But something I find really interesting, would Cole North actually kill White Tiger? That's something that people were talking about. Now, would he actually kill White Tiger? I think no. Just based off of what, the information I gave today, it seems like I don't think his killer is technically that. Now, I don't know if what I'm really going to name this video. I was thinking of talking about the White Tiger killer, Cole North, and at the end of this, I'm saying he's not the killer. I don't know what I'm going with this, but there is a chance he's the killer, but there is a chance that it's just somebody else from the anti-vigilante task force kind of showing why Cole North, the cracks already with Cole North and his system. Maybe he doesn't know what happened. Maybe there's a lot of different factors coming in before the next episode. But what do you think? Do you think Cole North has the capability of killing the White Tiger, even though what I just told you, he's pretty by the book? So he's not a killer. He doesn't like killers. He doesn't like criminals. So he wouldn't, do what he did. What do you think of Cole North? Do you see him as a hero, a villain, something in between, an anti-hero? What do you think? All that down below. I am pretty sure he'll be in the show just based off the set leaks. I think there'll be some turmoil between him and Kingpin. I think there'll be something really interesting between the Punisher and him and the anti-vigilante task force. But we got a little bit of everything in this video. Cole North, the anti-vigilante task force, their connection and everything. I think this would be really interesting and a really cool plot for what's to come. I saw people complaining about the White Tiger being introduced just to get killed off, but I think there's a bigger impact with that and kind of, progressing the story in some way. Let me know what you think of this. Are you excited to potentially see Cole North in Daredevil Born Again? Are you excited to see this anti-vigilante task force? Let me know all that down below.